Dharma and Adharma, Overcoming the Demoniac. The Ascension of the Rightful King. By N.D Wallace-Swan. In time man must come to his senses and know when a wrong must be fixed. But how can man act to repair what is broken when so many forces undermine his propensity to act? Screeching degenerates? Cowards? Men without chests? Fear them not. For there is only peril in the fear, and they are nothing. They fear you. They fear us. This is why they screech slander at your good name, for they are the incapables, and you are their mortal enemy. They hiss and squeal as you right your bow and rudder. But it is nothing more than the sound of lobsters dropped in a pot. You are become chef, bon appetit. Zombified hordes are not much to fear in the face of an organized elite. They are sheep without shepherds, wandering, while each one of them knows the way. It is naught but hubris, a malady of the mind driving them in all directions. Chaos is their world, their weapon. What is ours? You are the weapon. Your mind. Your ephemeral body. Your eternal soul. These are the same weapons our ancestors wielded in the face of their doom, and so here you stand today. Take one look at the enemy and know they are doomed. For those who hone these tools are to them proof of their weakness, their frailty, and their spiritual squander. You might cross trans activists, LGBTQ+ idealists, and the like. They're propagandists. Everything they spout is a lie meant to force the rectangle of their delusion into the round hole of reality. Their evidence lies in the face of biological fact. No more can you make a man into a woman, than can you turn a pineapple into a banana. You will find that they only accept evidence that directly supports their claim, and will reject anything which brings it into question. But this is how these people are. Do not take them seriously. Ask yourself this simple question when you come across them and their incessant crusade against anything and everything traditional. What would our ancestors say? Go back far enough and you would find they all agree that trans is a laughable joke that survives only now due to the low tides in which we find ourselves. Would it be tolerated at any other time? No, it would be silenced by whatever means necessary. No law needs writing, for it is a violation of the natural order. Such is a symptom of our interregnum tyranny, or what is often called democracy. Liberal though it may be called, it is merely liberal in the sense of senselessness. For what sense is there in suffrage? What value does it bring? It is a rearranging of the deck chairs on the Titanic, or worse, a feeble and ignorant submission to power. We can pretend we only did what we were expected to do, yet we know this is a lie. Others are in a far worse position and actively think they are empowered. They believe in the mythology of the interregnum tyrant. For those poor souls, they line up like bowling pins, standing like brave soldiers only to be knocked down each time. Strike. 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 Spare. Strike. Repeatedly, like a boot stomping on a human face, forever. There is no salvation through interregnum, as such as the reservation of regnum. That is the platform upon which civilization and mankind flourish and becomes unchained. Expansion into whatever new frontier becomes possible brings new possibilities for mankind. But for now, we remain chained by our weakness, our Kali Yuga nightmare of liberty, equality, and fraternity. We are at liberty to drown in our sorrows, we are equal in our misery and are an enfeebled fraternity bound by our chains and exile from prosperity. The question becomes, how do we bring about the regnum? Certainly one can imagine the end of such interregna tyrannide, but things could be worse. We could end up in an anarcho-tyrannide. The demoniac, as mentioned in chapter 16 of the Bhagavad Gita, the ones firmly planted in soul materialism, always pulls death around every corner with no order whatsoever. Perhaps such is inevitable in the historical epic, and it too only needs to be overcome. Whatever the truth may be, it needs accounting for, in the great turning of the wheel. Crushing time, and thus people, like a great millstone, the Dharma turns gently and fertilizes upcoming cycles with the dripping of mankind's essence into the bowl upon which the gods sup, ambrosia. Fate surrounds us, masters us, puppeteering man and rearranging him whole. During the Kali Yuga, these forces act like gravity, driving civilization and its shepherd, mankind, into the depths, dashing the best of his flock upon the bedrock of hell. But as iterated in Newton's third law, for every action, force, in nature there is an equal and opposite reaction. Thus, the post-Kali Yuga rebound, the Dwapara, should be acceleratory. At some point, the dam which upholds the democratic tyranny will break, and what will come is the decision of valorous men. It can devolve into anarcho-tyranny, or the Golden Kingdom. For Tolkien, it would be the difference between Saruman and Aragorn in his fictional epic. It is the difference between Beowulf and Grendel. It comes down to the right man's will to righteous action. Where do we find such a man? Can he be bred like the Kwisatz Haderach by the Bene Gesserit in Frank Herbert's Dune? Or battle-hardened like Julius Caesar and Alexander the Great? One thing is certain, the stage must be set for such a man to arise and take his place, and so to some degree, the future is truly out of our hands. But there is no reason to think something cannot be done, and as Krishna conveyed to Arjuna the importance of fighting Adharma, Adharma being the forces that attempt to run counter to Dharma, Arjuna finally accepts his proper Dharma in chapter 18, verse 73 of the Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna said, O infallible one, by your grace my illusion has been dispelled, and I am situated in knowledge. I am now free from doubts, and I shall act according to your instructions. It is written in the Dharmic cycle that the proper ordering of things is set in stone for ascension, but none are compelled. Ascension is only possible through blind faith. Many will stumble, fall, and fail. These treacherous contemplations devour men like a whale does krill. Power, the One Ring, the Rubicon, the Siege of Vienna, the fall of Constantinople, Stalingrad, the Alamo, in a word, sacrifice.